listening to Coffee and Conversation with Recovery Advocate Network, the nonprofit organization that strives to address the staggering disparity in resource availability for individuals suffering from mental health disorders, processing disorders, addictions, trauma healing, and sexual identity challenges. Together, we strive to end the stigma associated with these challenges so that true healing can begin. Welcome back to Coffee and Conversations Between the Lines Blog Club series. This is our 64th episode, where actor Aaron Douglas will read author Joshua Young's blog post titled Social Situations as an Alcoholic in Recovery. Now, a little about Aaron Douglas. First off, he didn't really want us to highlight all the amazing work that he does because he really wants to focus on RAN and the work that we're doing. And we're grateful. And we're going to talk about some of the amazing professional work that he has done, which includes that he has appeared in over 100 television and movie projects during his career. But he's best known for his portrayal of Chief Galen Tyrol on the Syfy channel Battlestar Galactica. Apart from Battlestar, Aaron has acted in numerous other films and TV shows, including X-Men 2, iRobot, Stargate SG-1, Andromeda, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Outer Limits, and many more. Aaron also starred in the CBS show The Bridge and most recently appeared in Resident Alien. You can find out more about Aaron in our show notes. As a reminder, Between the Lines episodes are authored by guests who prefer to share their stories in writing rather than through an interview. It is important to note that the views expressed in any of these blogs are solely those of the author, and the purpose is to create a safe and welcoming place for their voice to be heard. So, what are we waiting for? Sit back, relax, and let's get started.
Social Situations as an Alcoholic in Recovery. Written by Joshua Young. Read by Aaron Douglas.
In the early stages of my sobriety, the mere thought of navigating social situations where alcohol was a central fixture filled me with a profound sense of dread. The fear wasn't merely about the presence of alcohol itself, but rather the complex web of social dynamics it spun around me. From weddings to funerals, holiday parties to ball games, each occasion presented a potential minefield that threatened the fragile peace I had begun to forge with my sober self. Yet as I grew more accustomed to my new reality, I understood that hiding away from the world wasn't a viable solution. Life, with all its countless celebrations and sorrows, demanded my participation, not my retreat. The journey into sobriety is deeply personal, yet universally challenging. I remember vividly the sting of exclusion when, early in my recovery, I was not invited to an annual gathering, a tradition among my circle of friends who, like many, enjoyed their drink. They thought their decision would spare us all the discomfort, but it only served to underscore the isolation that often accompanies the path to recovery. It was a pivotal moment for me, one that sparked a profound realization. Avoiding alcohol wasn't just about avoiding the substance itself, but learning to navigate a world where it remained omnipresent, without losing my sense of belonging. Navigating social situations as someone in recovery is akin to learning a new language, a language of restraint, resilience, and profound self-awareness. At first, the cacophony of laughter fueled by one too many drinks, the slurred stories retold for the umpteenth time, and the predictable descent into the over-emotional or the absurd felt like an assault on my senses. There was a time when I would have been a part of that revelry, lost in the haze of alcohol-induced camaraderie. Standing on the outside, the sober observer, the dynamics of these interactions took on a new, often uncomfortable clarity. But with time, I learned valuable lessons in the self-preservation and engagement. I realized that to survive and thrive in these environments, I needed to cultivate a toolkit of strategies and mindsets, It wasn't about building walls, but rather about laying down bridges of understanding between my sober self and a world that hadn't changed as I had. The first and perhaps most crucial lesson was about setting personal boundaries while remaining open to connection. I learned to evaluate each social invitation, not with a sense of fear, but with a question. Can I maintain my sobriety and still find joy in this gathering? This question became my compass, guiding me through the murky waters of social engagements. It wasn't always easy, and there were times when the answer was a resolute no. But when it was a yes, I approached these gatherings with a sense of purpose and a plan. I also discovered the power of having an ally, a friend, or my wife who was aware of my journey and committed to supporting me. This ally became my anchor, ensuring that I never felt adrift in a sea of alcohol. Together, we navigated the festivities, their presence a silent testament to the strength found in solidarity. Perhaps the most transformative aspect of this journey was the shift in perspective it demanded. I began to see these social situations not as minefields, but as opportunities to connect, to listen, and to engage in meaningful ways that didn't require the lubrication of alcohol. I focused on the conversations, the laughter that wasn't fueled by inebriation, and the genuine connections that could be forged in the absence of alcohol. And yet, there were moments when the revelry crossed into excess, when the repetition of stories and the lowering of inhibition served as a reminder of the world that I had left behind. In those moments, I learned the importance of grace for those around me and grace for myself. I reminded myself that my journey was mine alone, a path not everyone would understand or need to follow. The lesson of exclusion from that annual gathering stayed with me, a poignant reminder of the importance of inclusion and understanding. It taught me that while I had embarked on a journey of recovery, it didn't mean I had to journey alone. It underscored the need for open communication, for expressing my needs and boundaries, and for educating those around me about the realities of sobriety. In traversing the social landscape as an alcoholic in recovery, I learned that the essence of life's celebrations and sorrows didn't lie in the presence of alcohol, but in the human connections they created. My journey taught me resilience, empathy, and the unshakable belief that sobriety didn't mean isolation. It meant rediscovering the joy of connection in its purest form.
Thank you for joining us today with your coffee and conversation. We hope you've been encouraged and learned something from today's story. To learn more about today's guest, please check out our show notes for more details. Now it's time to remember to like this episode, subscribe, and turn on your notifications to ensure you do not miss future episodes. Recovery Advocate Network envisions a world where individuals with mental health challenges receive comprehensive and effective treatment without the worry of financial burdens to themselves or their families, all without the stigmas often present in society. We are proud that every individual worked with RAN does so on a 100% volunteer basis. You can support the mission by making a financial donation via PayPal or Venmo, or email donate@recoveryadvocatenetwork.org if you would like to donate items for our next fundraising auction. Please visit our website at www.recoveryadvocatenetwork.org to learn more. Now, stay in the loop about upcoming events, future episodes, and more by following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, TikTok, LinkedIn, and all major podcast platforms. As a reminder, the experiences and advice expressed in this episode are the host and guest's own personal stories and do not represent the opinions of any organization mentioned. RAN is passionate about opening the doors for all voices and experiences, not just those expressed in any particular podcast. If you want to share your experiences or expertise, we encourage you to be a future guest by emailing us at podcast@recoveryadvocatenetwork.org or submit a blog by emailing blog@recoveryadvocatenetwork.org. We also encourage you to comment on the episode so that we can continue to provide content that is most beneficial to the community. How do you do that? Visit our website at www.recoveryadvocatenetwork.org, and in the top right corner, click that comment button and comment. So listeners, what do you need to do? Pause what you're doing, subscribe, follow us. Please give us a like and a 5-star rating, write some meaningful comments, and most importantly, share these episodes with your friends. You never know whose heart you will touch, so please be a part of a reason someone has new hope today. If this episode was triggering to you, we encourage you to contact your support system, therapist, national and community support groups, the Global Crisis Text Line by texting 741-741, and/or if in the U.S., dialing 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If you're in the U.S. and need additional resources such as shelter, support group resources, transportation, food, and/or a safe, confidential path out of physical or emotional domestic abuse, please call 211 or visit www.211info.org for assistance. Now, we know you are very busy, and we are grateful that you said yes to sharing time with us today. If you stuck to our 3 C's of engagement and listened to the full episode, then visit the podcast section of our website and leave the comment about the podcast, and you'll be entered to win an autographed copy of one of the books from one of our book club series, as well as a Coffee and Conversation coffee mug. So thanks again. Until next time, back to your coffee.